This meeting is being recorded.
Hello and welcome to this podcast edition of Sam's Alternatives, episode 4. I will be chatting to, of course, Daniel Thiago and Panda from New South Wales / Queensland metal band that is Engraved. We're just going to jump on a few minutes early, I am, and just have a bit of a chat what's been happening. Of course, Thursday, January 9, I'll be chatting to Brendan and Tim from Adelaide metal band Those Left Behind as well. And then on Sunday the 19th of January, I'll be speaking to at least Connor from Revenant. So there's a few podcast episodes coming up. February's almost booked out. March is booked out. April's booked out. It's awesome. Thanks to everyone that's been streaming the videos on YouTube or subscribing, liking, messaging, send feedback. That means the world to me. So thank you to everyone. Of course, I went to New Year's Eve Recovery Fest at, of course, Stay Gold on New Year's Day. Amazing gig. One of the best I've ever been to. There was Red Hook, Vilify, of course, Nightlight. We had bands as well as The City, Among the Restless, and, of course, Day Saints. All amazing live. Got to catch up with so many people in bands and people that were there as punters. Of course, sadly, Kieran from Vilify wasn't there because he's had a motorcycle accident. But the good thing was Adam from the Beautiful Monument jumped on drums. So it was pretty much the Beautiful Vilify. Because the only person that was in Vilify on Wednesday night that wasn't in the Beautiful Monument was Denny. So, yeah, it was pretty much the Beautiful Vilify. But I got a gig coming up next Saturday at Stay Gold again. Funnily enough, 4 of the first 6 gigs I'm going to in 2025 are at Stay Gold. This one will be the Sats, OJ, also Outer Worlds, and the other band, Awaking Tyler. Dan from Engraved is in the lobby, so I better let Dan in and get this started, as they say.
Hey, Sam,
Morning,
how you
Dan.
doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good morning.
Yourself?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. I'm just tossing up whether I should sit in here or outside. I might actually. It's a bit hot today in Sydney, so have I lost my other? It's a bit
Join the
hot today in
club,
Sydney.
Dan. It's very hot down here in Warrigal. It's about 32 already. I'm like, too much.
Far out.
Yeah, I'm not
Right,
You'd think I'd be a summer fan because I'm born in summer, born in Queensland originally. You'd think I'd love the warm weather, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I've got to be honest.
That is true, actually. I completely forgot that you're from Queensland. Hang on, let me go relocate outside.
Oh no, that's all right. That's
Yeah.
that's the beauty of WebEx. You can just maneuver around anywhere you want to go. I'll stay inside though. It's too warm outside.
Yeah. That's all right.
No.
All right. Sorry, let me get this settled.
Reception there's really good. I don't know about what my reception's like on your end, Daniel, but yours is perfect this end.
It's
All
right.
All right, now is my microphone turned up loud enough? That's all right. Technical issues on my end, I think.
I can. Good. It's just me. I'm just trying to sort my shit out.
Oh no, that's all right.
Had a quick few runarounds right before our meeting.
Yep.
All right.
All
right. How's this?
No, it's perfect. Can hear you perfectly. You're clear as day on my end.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. So
I do apologise in advance. Where I live is like right next to this really steep hill, and it's got a lot of attraction for hoons. So if you hear some like sick burnout happening in the background, it's just the car on the hill. So don't think something bad's going to happen on my.
Nah, that's fine, Dan. I remember the old podcast interviews when it was audio. I had 2 dogs barking for about 5 minutes on one interview. That was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Someone messages me and goes, "Oh, what was that barking in the background like?" My guest had dogs that saw another dog walk past and...
Yeah, there's heaps of stuff. But this is good now that you got the video. At least I feel like I can actually, I'm chatting to you now. So
yeah, so
this is great.
The rhetorical question is, Daniel, why I didn't do this sooner.
Look, it's one of those things, man. Like, same with us in music, you know, like you just start, you do whatever you have with what you have, and then over time you learn and you evolve and you figure out better things and whatnot. But
Yep.
it's just a part of the process, you know, you're podcasting and whatnot. So I imagine, you know, it's very similar to how we approach things too. You just, as long as you're doing it, you know, and then you figure it out on the way.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with Panda here.
Well, I let him in. It's all good. He will join when he's able to get through. But yeah, it's at least I'm talking to someone. It's not like, oh, there we are. Hey, Panda.
There he is. How are you, big fella?
Oh, can't hear him.
We can't hear you.
It was my. Oh, hang on.
Here we go.
Oh,
He's
there we
muted.
are.
He's muted. There we go.
I just had to allow everything.
I can hear you perfectly now. I'm glad this is like not professional. Well, it is professional in a way, but it's not like you know what I mean.
Semi-professional. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just going to check if Thiago's jumping in now as well.
he just said, coming.
Yeah. No, there's no
Oh,
rush.
he did, okay.
I'm not working at all
Yeah,
today,
right.
so there's absolutely no rush on my end. So
that's good to know because we know how long you and I can bloody chat for, mate. So.
Oh, yes. Sydney bands and Queensland bands, I think, hold 3 of the 4 longest interviews I've ever done. And I think
Yeah.
those left behind, funnily enough, who are my next guests, hold the longest record
Oh, really?
interstate. So
They're awesome. Yeah, we played with them at the end of last year. They
Yep.
were bloody awesome guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim's the top bloke. Really
No.
nice. They've got such a cool metalcore sound as well. I love it. It's a bit like on the classic side, like what we kind of aim for. So, yeah, no, they're a cool group to get in. Yeah, for sure.
They're really good people too. Not that I've met Tim and Brendan in person, but having spoken to
Yeah.
both of them quite a few times on the podcast, really good blokes.
Got their sticker on my van, mate. For the collection.
But for those that don't know, obviously I've interviewed Daniel. I think this is number 4 interviewed Daniel. Is it or 3?
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember.
I've lost count as well, mate. It's like we do it like once a year now. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think the first interview was when we dropped Unleashed, or it was right before we released Unleashed. It was something like that.
So
And then from there, it's just been like, yeah.
it's yearly, pretty much.
Yeah.
But of course, Daniel and Panda, and when Thiago comes in, are from, well, I'm going to say New South Wales / Queensland because Daniel's still technically in New South Wales. So
foreigner.
I think we're now. Yeah, it's weird. Like I think now we just refer to ourselves as a Queensland band. So I'm up there, you know, quite a bit now. So I think it's just where we are, Queensland. It's the little home base for us now. So
yep.
Yeah.
Well, they are, of course, 2 of the 5 members of Queensland metalcore band now. I guess I will refer to as Engraved, who were here in Melbourne only 3.5 months. Is that 3.5 months ago? Far out.
We played in September, I think it was. Yeah.
Only feels
it wasn't that long ago.
It feels like
September.
3.5 weeks ago. That's
actually, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, right.
And then you played, as you mentioned, with Those Left Behind, and was it Suffer the Avenue in Adelaide? I think it was.
It was meant to be Suffer the Avenue, but they had to cancel something. I think they couldn't commit to. But that's when Those Left Behind filled in.
Oh yeah.
You know, credit to Jay and the guys from Suffer from the Avenue. When they messaged me about having to pull out, they'd already found the guys from Those Left Behind to fill in already. So they, you know, it was a quick fix and it was no issues in the end, which was nice. You know, sometimes when people pull out, it's just like, that's it, you know, that's their part done. But no, these guys went the extra mile. Yeah.
No,
these guys made the effort to make it easier for us. Yeah.
No,
That's
again,
great.
like those left behind, I haven't met the Stuff of the Avenue guys in person, but everything I've heard about Jay and Nick and the guys, they seem like really top blokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we've come across a few good people in this scene so far. It's been nice. Yeah.
Yes. And of course, I have
Yeah.
met everyone in Engraved, actually, funnily enough. I've met Daniel quite a few
Yeah.
times and Philip, but Panda, Thiago, and Corey I met last time you were in Melbourne. Speaking of Thiago, he's about to join. So calling user one unverified. Da da da. Drum roll.
He's,
No.
he's about to learn that he's got to press these two buttons down here.
Trust me,
I
this is
don't know
only
how to put the video.
just press the little camcorder button down the bottom.
I didn't realise WebEx and interviews also had a booklet of how to turn on the video cam or the WebEx cam. All right, well, I definitely heard Thiago. We'll just wait till we see his face in a minute.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
All right.
Like appears for me as a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Looks
So it's
like
gonna
that I'm
be.
on a phone
Right.
call.
Ah, you've called in.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we can still hear you, Tiago. And when I post this up, I'll just mention that Tiago's on audio and you can see Dan and Panda's face. I'm surprised no one's gone up. Just click Sam's face out of the way. No one wants to see my buffet on YouTube.
Honestly, the one person you do want to see their face in the band, we can't see. He's in cool.
Yeah. Not just the face too, mate.
Anyway, morning, Tiago.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning. How we going?
Yeah, we are good. Everything is going good, my friend. And how about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Like Sydney and Queensland, it's probably about 32 degrees this morning already down here in Warragul. It's boiling hot.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh.
I'm a bit of a wuss. Even though I was born in Queensland and born in summer, I don't like 32-degree weather days in a row. So,
Yeah, I don't cop the heat very well. I'm built for colder climates, I believe.
yeah. This time of year, though, Panda, I don't think you're going to find many colder climates here in Australia, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even.
Oh,
Yeah.
at least I'm not in Cairns anymore. That bit too humid for me.
Yeah. So you're based down in Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast. Whereabouts are you based, Panda?
Yeah, I'm
This
sort
call
of
will be recorded.
just off the edge of Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, right in the middle there.
This call is no longer being recorded.
Oh, we're hearing audio effects on Tiago's end.
What did it say? It's no longer being recorded or something.
His
Is that what it
audio's
was?
no longer being recorded, I think was what I heard.
Oh, he's probably having some more issues.
Yeah.
But look, we can probably start, and then when he's just around, he
Yeah.
can jump in. I think. I don't know what is going on.
So yeah, we're based in
Me
three.
neither.
Oh, I can hear you now again, Tiago.
There he is.
We're all based in
Yeah.
3 different parts of Australia. I'm about 2,000 kilometres from where Panda is, about 1,200 from Daniel, and yeah, I'm the only Vic boy here, but that doesn't matter.
We forgive you.
For those that don't know where Warragul is, if you ever went to the Unify Music Festival at Tarwanloa, Warragul's about 70 minutes away from Unify's location, if that helps anyone trying to figure out where Warragul is on the map.
Well, that does help me realise, like in a geolocational sense, that I still don't know where it is. So it's pretty good.
Do you want me to draw a diagram and hold it up on WebEx for you?
Oh, like a mud map, like.
You just made me realize how ignorant some of us can be, living in the cities and getting so used to like the main the main parts, but the guys out in regional areas, no one fucking knows anything. Like, it's so far away. Yeah.
I honestly think the funniest thing ever when I've been to a gig is someone actually said they'll take me back to Warragul before they knew that Warragul was about an hour and a half from Melbourne, where they lived, because they thought it was Warragul
Yeah.
Road. And I'm
Oh,
like, no.
Oh, right. Because I remember having a chat with you about it when we played that gig at Stay Gold, which was like, I think, 2022. And then you
Yes.
were saying that you got like 2 trains and 2 buses and all this like shit just to get out to the gig. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of effort.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess now, though, unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's people that are coming from Traralgon to Melbourne for gigs, and Traralgon's even further from Melbourne than Warragul. So I'm like, now I don't actually travel the furthest. I travel the second furthest.
All right.
So, nah. But I do it
Yeah,
because I
nice.
love it. As I say, traveling doesn't bother me in the slightest, really.
Yeah. It's just good to get out sometimes.
Yeah, and obviously money goes a long way to supporting the local scene. I don't know how much I've spent on live music in the last couple of years. I shudder to think, actually, but it's a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right. Well, Dan knows the gist of these interviews. He's only done 3 of them before, but generally what it is, Panda Tiago, is I chat to the band about the band, what's been happening, and then at the end, the 3 guests on today's WebEx meeting get to ask me the hard-hitting question at the end of this meeting. So I'll give you a bit of time, and nothing's off limits.
Oh, you don't want Panda to ask you anything with that.
You don't want me to ask anyone anything ever.
Oh, have I just dug myself a hole here, have I? I might have just done that. Oops.
Panda's quite an interesting person. Very spontaneous in thinking and doing, I would say. Always catching you off guard, very mentally, I'd say. He's got the weirdest fucking.
That is the nicest way anyone's ever said, "Dude, you're mentally ill."
Oh, shit.
Very considerate of you,
Hey,
Dan. Very demure.
Oh my
Those
God.
words didn't come out of my mouth, man.
Oh, this just took a weird turn 15 minutes in, didn't it?
Hey, I'm under no illusions here. Well, you know.
This is what I love about interviews, you can say anything and I don't get offended. I've been asked everything under the sun, so unless Panda's got something really out there, I probably have heard it before.
I'll keep it PG. PG-13.
Oh, yeah, my
MA
podcasts
15,
never
MA
were
15.
PG-21.
I think the weirdest question I ever got asked, and this isn't even offensive, it was, do you have pineapple on pizza? That was the weirdest question I ever got asked.
Oh,
Fair enough.
do you though?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a person with pineapple on pizza.
All right, we're done here. No,
Interview over. No, I'm joking.
I know Dan's one of those, I reckon.
What?
You
You reckon
you love to mix fruit and meat, don't you?
Mate, I think pineapple is the best ingredient you could put on any pizza.
Yes and no.
With a bit of cinnamon like sprinkle on top. Oh, say no more.
Cinnamon sprinkle on a pizza. Okay.
I'm just joking. I just wanted to see Panda's reaction.
Well, don't they have those dessert pizzas?
He's like, he's now thinking, now who's more mentally ill in this band?
Yeah. I also have heartburn now, so.
Jesus. All right, maybe into the serious. Well, not that what I talk about generally is serious, but So what has Engraved been up to since we last spoke?
Heaps, man.
Panda can probably explain this better than I will.
Well, it's been pretty productive, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Damn, we're getting a lot done, eh? Honestly.
Yeah.
Wow, just so much writing. We've really had a lot of cool fusion going on lately. Everyone's really been coming up with some really awesome ideas. I don't think I've woke up a day since our last gig where someone hasn't had something, you know, quite of quite substance, to offer, whether it's just a lyrical or concept related, or Dan just going, "Hey, I wrote this whole song," and you're just like, "Oh, okay, let's go." It's been really good. And a lot of the time, um, you know, Dan, Phil, Corey, Thiago, and myself, we'll just do that. We'll go, "Hey, I've got this whole concept right here," and I'll go, "Oh, okay, I've actually here's a couple songs I wrote. You know, here's a couple samples of the lyrics. Go for that." And Dan will go, "Oh, that lyrically fits this what I had in my head here perfectly." It's really it's been really easy to connect the dots with us lately. I think that's one of the most exciting things when you can all chip in so easily just because it's something's cohesive there, something's really working.
Yep.
I love it, man. It's been really good. So yeah, we've just been sending stuff to each other back and forth non-stop, and then of course we have our practices and stuff, and write together and do bits apart and together. But yeah, it's been phenomenal lately. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know
It's
about
been
your
great.
take on it, Dan, but oh my god, yeah, there's been quite a lot
Yeah.
happening very quickly.
Sorry, just
So,
letting Tiago in.
is that yeah? No, so basically, since we saw you in Melbourne, which was September, we
Yep.
played I think one or two more shows after that, and we signed with X Music. So when we got that record deal under our belt, it just like everyone kind of just went, "All right, fuck it, this is happening. This is it now. We now have something to work towards, not just a goal, but something to really commit ourselves to and pour our hearts into."
Yep.
What's going on there? Is that like a
Yeah, what's that beeping noise, actually? Just out of
can
curiosity.
can you mute that or?
Can I mute it? There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, so
what's happened?
he's disappeared.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
There's always one. There's always one. It always happens. But yeah, no. So, like following what Panda said, we have been just going back and forth with each other. Like, there's obviously things we disagree on. It's just part of the creative process when you're working with each other. But
Yeah, Dan.
for them, yeah. So for the most part, we like I mentioned before, we have our goals aligned. So we know that no matter what we're doing when we're working together or working individually, it's for the better of the group. And with that in mind, we're able to just take constructive criticism. We're able to grow. We're able to be more open-minded on projects too, especially myself, because I know I'm very fussy and picky.
Yep.
And like when it does come to the writing process, like for example, we've got a new song we're going to be releasing at some point next year. And I'd written the song a while back, and I'd been so stuck in that one place with the song. Not stuck, I'd just say I'd listened to it so much that my mind would not have changed on it. But then when we finally got to jam it out together as a band, and it was the first time everyone heard it, Tiago's like, "Fuck it, change that bit. Let's put a breakdown there, and play the lead bit there." And we then when we're all together, we can actually play it, and it just sounds so much better, and you feel the energy. And the coolest part about it is that excitement that you all get when you're like, "Fuck yeah, that sounded awesome," and you're all there to experience that together.
Yep.
So we're having a lot of those moments lately, which I can honestly say since the start of this project we haven't had. And the fact that we're all experiencing it together and we all love the way we're going with our music and how we're bringing it to the band, it just feels very real, and it feels like we're we're not wasting time. We're on the right path, and we're going to do the right things for our future. And when you combine all that together, it just makes this whole process so much easier, And like I said, everyone's just in the same mindset, so that helps significantly. And having these few months since we played some shows, like everyone's had a time to relax a little bit, and I think it's been much needed given like how much we would how eventful last year was, I would say. But yeah, it's been nice to have a bit of a break over Christmas, and I know these boys have been grinding so much, so for all of us to have a bit of a recharge was nice,
Yes, very important to have a break over Christmas, New Year. As much as you'd love to just go 365 a year, I don't think I could keep it up for 365 days a year in a band, artist, or podcasting. No way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it has its moments, but as I mentioned before, the group we have now, especially these two boys here, like we feel very blessed. It just feels like we're all brothers, and it takes away from the work.
I just love seeing the expressions on this end from Panda and Thiago, and people will see it on YouTube when it gets uploaded. It's just the facial expressions I love of this job.
There's our beautiful drummer.
Yes. Now, can you hear me, Thiago?
Perfectly.
Oh, perfectly, yes. I might add you in on this, Thiago. What have Engraved been up to since we last spoke, or your take on it, anyway?
Man, it's been amazing. Everyone is just like feels like family. We play a lot with each other. We support. We have some arguments. We have some fights in any relationship, and we ground. We talk about what is going on. Sometimes we said, "Hey, bro, but you are not seeing this from this perspective. He's not wrong." And the things solves by itself. So it's been amazing, man. I feel like family, and this is have no better feeling than that. As just adding, as Dan said, that like Dan is it's one of the biggest part in the whole process of the thing, because he will prepare the songs by himself. He send the first structure that he have in his mind. But like if that's it and no one collaborates, that's Dan's band. Yeah, like no one is adding the spice or putting the thing. But like when Dan have the first idea, not always is Dan, but like most of the time, he have the first thing, and we came up to the studio, and I will add my spicy and my Brazilian whatever thing, and Panda will bring his other side, and Phil will collaborate. The thing becomes the the band itself is not just one mind thinking. For most of the people, it's everyone collaborating, and that's the best thing. It's amazing.
No, it sounded like it's all gelling together, as they say.
Yeah.
And I do love our crazy little hive mind we got going. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And also, how can I say, that everyone have different influences and different genres that is more into. Like nowadays I'm very genty. I'm listening a lot of gent and a lot of this stuff, and like let's try to put this thing more, and let's try to this is amazing. So yeah, the build up of the thing, it's been nice, and we will release a new album that we are working on it, and yeah, super keen.
Oh, well, you've sort of answered one of the questions I had down, but I don't know if that's for 2025 or beyond, but we'll get to that question in a little while.
Yeah.
But of course, I actually caught up with Thiago more recently than I caught up with Dan and Panda, because Goatzilla played at Mr. Boogeyman Bar it was about late October, I think it was. My memory's terrible. But yeah, I'm like, I know you. You're the drummer of Engraved.
I remember that day. I said like, "Oh, how are you, bro?" Yeah, I remember that.
Because Stupid Sam didn't realise Thiago, being the drummer of Engraved, was also in Goatzilla as well. Like, yeah, it's amazing A lot of drummers seem to double up in bands. Like there's a lot in Melbourne that are in 2 or more bands, which is good to see.
It's hard to
Yeah.
find
They're in
good
high
drummers.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think there was one in
Yeah.
Melbourne that was in 5 bands at one time, or had 5 projects
Mm.
going. Like, how can you do 5 projects in one go? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Machine.
It's insane. The
Machine.
thing is, I think about for people that does that, and like I was doing it exactly what you said. I was kind of doing it. Now my life is more chill, and
Yeah.
I'm not focusing many other things and putting my energy in specific stuff. But like the guy will not be able to do, or any musician, if that band is a very big band and is you have gigs all over, you have schedules all over. If you have a tiny thing and this doesn't give you much, and you have like 1 gig or 2 in a month, and you have your whole agenda up, and you can fit more gigs, that's I think how it happens. A person will not be able to be on 4 or 5 big bands. It's impossible. But
Yeah.
in small projects, I
Yeah.
think that is possible. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Especially if they don't have too much of a like impact on the creative process, I'd say. You know, a lot of people that are just session musicians, they can get around that a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah, like they are not very really involved in the band itself, but they do the
Yeah.
rehearsal, they do the gig. But like the management of the whole thing is not with that musician. So yeah, then like that.
yeah. No, you're very right there, though, Tiago. I think you couldn't have 5 big bands that play, shows all around Australia, even overseas, and try and
Yeah.
keep up with it. That's just, well, it's not impossible, but it won't be.
Very hard.
Yeah, very,
You'd be burnt out for sure at the very least, just from the workload alone. Even if you're not so involved with, the actual progression of the band, or the management of the band or the creative writing of the band, you'd still be so burnt out from it. It's just such a workload.
Mm. I don't know how people like Dave Grohl and Mike Patton do it. Like, I know their bands aren't all big and they're all based in the one country, but like Dave Grohl at one stage was in 4 or 5 projects, and you think if there's anyone that could probably do it, it is probably Dave Grohl, but still, it'd burn yourself out.
Yeah.
The dude is a machine, and he's a really nice guy too.
Yes, no. Still waiting for that game of that we sent him a card and he never replied, but I don't think he gets that many emails and fan messages.
Yeah.
I worked security for him on stage once. He was a really nice guy, hey? Really
Yeah.
nice guy.
No.
Genuine.
The main reason I got into music was because of Dave Grohl and his days with Nirvana, and then obviously Fooey's and them Crooked Vultures, etc.
Fresh parts.
Well, I'm trying to look like the guy. How do you think I'm doing so far? With the
Oh,
hair and
you've got the beard,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah. Hair's not long enough, or
Dave Grohl has a lot of tattoos as well, so you got that part covered.
yeah, a few more to go still, but yeah.
Yeah, Studio 45 shirt and a pot of coffee, man. You'll be right there.
How's your "I've got a confession to make" speech, Dan? Like, can you do it like
I'm
Dave
not good.
Grohl?
I'm not good at making confessions. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a really bad pun for anyone. Yeah, let's not go down that path. But I think everyone knows the story of Dave Grohl and the kid with another person. But anyway, this isn't e-news. This is a podcast episode. So what does 2025 hold in store for Engraved? I did realise I put 2024 in the questions I sent you, Dan. I hope you realised I'd stuffed that up.
No, mate, we're all going to be making that mistake for the next month, I reckon. It's come and gone so quick. Yeah, look, I mean, obviously we touched a bit on, new music and whatnot, but our plan is to also do a lot of a lot of touring next year. We want to try play as many places again as possible. But also I think the big part is more focusing on like our creative bond together. Although it hasn't even been 12 months that we've all been together. So one of my focuses for next year and Engraved is to just build our bond more and make sure that we're all just in the right place and we're going about things a bit smoother. So
we
yeah,
are really honing in on us at the
yeah,
moment. It's good. I think we're really starting to, get the swing of the. I wouldn't say new us, but it is the new us.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's. I reckon it's going to be huge, man. Got a lot. Got
Yeah.
a lot in the pipeline, and we're finding new and wonderful ways to to be more of a cohesive unit. It's good.
You're gonna hear these. You're gonna hear some of these words in our new songs as well with Panda's lyrics, because we released we released NCB, but like that song was already written before these boys were in the band. So, insight for 2024 is that 2025. See, there I fucked it as well. Is that we're gonna be having these boys really displaying their creativity on new music as well, and I'm really excited that that's what we're going to be putting out next year. So our focus is that.
This year, my friend. Stop to say next year. This year. We are in
Sorry,
2025.
How many
You have
times
said-
have
we are
said-
here.
can I go get a coffee quickly? Is that cool?
Here you go, buddy. Here you go.
Yeah, just make sure you send the express post so it doesn't get cold by the time it gets here.
Well, if I
Yeah, you
send
would-
it to you, Dan, it will get cold by the time it gets from Warragul to Sydney.
Mate, you know what? On a day like this, I don't think it will. It'll just sit in the sun the whole time and it'll probably warm up. Who knows?
But I think if I say 2024, and I've been saying it yesterday and the first couple of days of 2025, I've been like, oh, it's 2024. Oh, no, it's not, Sam. It's 2025. It's, I mean, I
Oh,
can't
gonna-
even
gonna
believe
catch us
we're
all off guard.
in January. It's scary.
It's crazy, eh? I can't
Well-
believe it's a whole nother year.
Yeah, well, and what? Knotfest is only 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away. That's come round really quickly as well.
Yeah, right. Wow.
And
When you say it like that.
you know what is the scary part of it? They have the same time and the same hours and the same 365 days, but maybe we always have that perception of how fast it was because we are busy always. We are always building. We are always creating. We are always like, I don't know, man. It's just feel that fast every time more because we are super busy. Like and we don't see the thing
flies.
and the thing just flies. It's insane.
Well, I felt like
Yeah,
the second half of 2024 in particular, like September, October, November, just disappeared. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, where did
Yeah.
we get
it really
to
did,
December?
hey. It really did. It just flew the last sort of 3-4 months of last year, technically. It just flew by.
It could also be the fact that there was a lot of great music released in those 4 months as well, especially November. I looked through my November calendar of bands that released new music and just like, this has got to be the best month of 2024 for new music.
Yeah, I mean, we released a song. We released a song.
Who else did? There was Red, there was Clay J, Disgust, there was Total Buzzkill. Everyone dropped new music. Did those Left Behind? I think they dropped a song, but it was only available on Bandcamp, I think it was as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Revenant, they dropped some music. It was really good for them. Yeah, they nailed it. They're coming a long way. They're awesome.
I've got to get.
All really nice guys too. A lot of the guys we've played with in the last, sort of 4 or 5 months, or since I've been in the band, so probably longer. Pretty much everyone we've played with has been just so genuine and really great musicians. Like it's really cool being in it because you get to watch not only your own progression, but you get to watch the progression artistically of the bands you're kind of closer with, or that you get to play with more frequently, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And we've got a really good scene here in Australia, music-wise. A lot of bands are starting to break big. As you said, Panda, Revenant have just come from, well, not from nowhere, but I feel like they were building up to something big. And then when they dropped the EP, everyone started taking notice of how good they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're great. They're great boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
live it's amazing, man. I have watched it and I'm in front of the stage like, okay, of course, gent, but like, so good. I'm a big fan of Revenant.
Well, funnily enough, well, I said it at the start of the interview, actually, before everyone jumped on. At the moment, Connor will be jumping on in 2 weeks' time. So 2 weeks tomorrow from Revenant, he'll be jumping on for a chat, which will be good.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. Yeah,
He really
Real
is
nice
a
guy.
he really is a nice guy, and he's really tall too. It kind of put me off. I'm used to being the tall one. every time we play with him, or every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, that's good.
I need Connor's height. I'm a short ass panda. Like, I'd be only 5'7", and I stand next to some of these people who are 6'2", 6'3". I'm like, hello, and looking up at them.
Yeah, well, I'm 6'3" if I don't slouch, but that dude's taller than me, man. So I don't know what he is.
So Queensland vocalists, man. Oh no, there's a couple of short.
There's something brewing up there. Yeah.
All right. I'm not even from here. I just happen to be here.
Another band that I remind you sharing stage was Pyrokinesis. I
Oh,
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
fuck
shit,
them.
bro. Like,
Pyrokinesis, yeah.
fuck, heavy. Like
Yeah,
it.
cool, man.
So there is some serious talent coming out of this country at the moment. And someone asked me the other day on the train coming home, who's the next big thing in Australia? I'm like, I have no idea how to answer that because I don't have a genuine answer right at the moment.
Oh, there's such a smorgasbord of options there, really. It'd be more like which ones are going to be the next big thing. I think it's be a fairer question.
Or a
You know?
fairer question would be, say, your genre. Like if the person said metal or punk rock or something, then that would narrow it down a little bit. But no genre was given. I'm like, well, I can't really answer that.
That's hard to answer, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a bigger spike in like on the more underground side of things. I'm seeing a bigger spike in the whole real early '90s inspired new metal stuff, you know, and it's so cool. I love it. It's like bringing back something I've always loved, but with a new flavor on it. It's so cool. I love it when they bring something back and make it the new thing again. You know, you're just like, yes, I get more of this. I don't have to replay the same 1 billion songs. It's great.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot now because we've been talking about the next big thing, but I'll give you a genre so it's fair and you can sort of narrow it down. The next big metal band here in Australia, outside of the Alpha Wolves Polaris in Artsway.
Oh, you really got me thinking. I don't know, maybe yours truly, I'd say. Yeah.
It's a pretty good.
I think they're more on like the kind of pop punk side, but you know, they seem to be doing very well for themselves at the moment. I'd probably say them.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty good.
Up there with Red Hook. Yeah. I mean, Red Hook's pretty big already, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's such a equal playing field at the moment. Yeah.
Well, they've become huge, Red Hook. Like Tim messaged me the other day from Those Left Behind. It's like since you interviewed, they've just blown up. I'm like, you're exactly right. They've come from nowhere, really.
Yeah. Yeah. They're doing something right. That's for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the speed of progression, um, really plays a part as well. Like, whoa, what's happening there? Someone's making some good chess moves, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I don't know how to answer that question. Same as you felt before. Yeah, I don't think I could even answer it, honestly. I just carry it over to Dan because there's just so many. I just don't know what to. I mean, you can follow the numbers all you like, um, but yeah, there's some high contenders for sure. And yet again, you're right about genre. That's another thing I think plays a part as well, because certain genres get a lot more reach as well. So, but in their own fields, it'd be another question all again. You know.
No, definitely.
Hmm.
For me, I actually think it's a Sydney band, and it's another female fronted, or as far as I know, they're female fronted group. They're from Newcastle. They're called Vilify. I reckon they're going to be, if
Oh
they're
yeah.
already blowing
Yeah.
up with, like, because they're part of the Beautiful Monument as well. But I feel like they're the band that I feel like could be the next huge female led band here in Australia to follow on from, as Dan said, yours truly and Red Hook and Last Martyr. I think they're the next one to make it big, but it's a big call. Like Panda said, it's hard
Mm.
to narrow it down.
Yeah, that is true. We actually, I think we played a show with them in Sydney over a year ago. They were really nice. We played that show with Barebones and Auratech, and it was a fun night at the Duke. Yeah, all of those bands were good performers. Yeah, Vilify. Yeah, they. Oh God, I saw that they're playing, or maybe it's already passed, like a festival or something coming up, or maybe it
They
was the end of
played
last year.
New Year's
Yeah.
Day Recovery
Oh,
Fest
look at
at
that.
Stay Gold in Melbourne, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, that must have been it then. Yeah,
Funnily enough,
yeah,
with
they must be doing good.
funnily enough, with the band we've mentioned a couple of times already in Red Hook and
Yeah.
the City and a few other bands from Melbourne, which yeah, it was quite insane. I've never seen a mosh pit for a last band where an inflatable pool has had Emmy moshing in it. Like, you know how Stay Gold, like the ceiling's quite low. Like the literally she was nearly hitting the top of the like ceiling. I'm like, yeah, this hasn't got dangerous written all over it, hasn't it?
Oh,
But
that reminds me of what was it in Wollongabba? Was it Lab? The Lab? Oh man, back in the day, it was like a beam down the middle, and your head was like almost hitting it every time.
oh,
I was just on Spotify now because I wanna remember the name of this band that I watch in Brisbane. Future Static.
oh, big fan. Love
Female
Future
singing.
Static.
I was searching the song that I two songs that I love on my playlist. I said, that's the name. Future Static. Bro, good as fuck.
Oh, I
Good as
mean,
fuck.
Amaria's vocals. I mean,
Yes.
right up there with Mon from Last Mother and Emmy easily. Her vocals are outrageously good. I wish I could
Yeah.
sing like that, and I don't even sing. So,
High
Same.
goals you have.
but
What was that thing like? I didn't know them. I was there to watch Animals as Leaders. And
and
like they just supported as the first band, and I said, like, what the fuck is that? I just love it. From that day I became a fan. So this is also important how the live thing have that, like some people will maybe not get the full message of what you are showing with your music from Spotify or albums, like not exactly. And live is different, man. It's heavier. So like even people that will like Engraved probably will like more live
yeah,
because have like I don't know all the energy and like all the you know.
well,
That's
yeah,
how I got into In Flames, and I saw them live at Soundwave ages back, fucking when Soundwave was sort of thing. I'd never heard of them before, and I rocked up the Soundwave and saw In Flames play, and that was just insane. And that's when I then started to look at their music, and it was cool shit.
Some good metal
So
coming out of
right.
Sweden too. Like In Flames is a good example,
Yeah.
but
Oh, they're
Ghost
just awesome,
and
man.
March Enemy, list goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Future Static, if no one has checked out Future Static, check them out. Funnily enough, the drummer I mentioned earlier in this episode that was in 4 or 5 bands is funnily enough the drummer of Future Static, which is Jackson. So
Crazy shit.
bit of a
Yeah.
coincidence there, Tiago, that you brought up the band that was mentioned 40 minutes ago or
Yeah.
so.
Very good drama. Very good
Yes.
drama. Fuck yeah.
And, oh, fuck, we've been chatting for 50 minutes almost. Yeah, this happens generally.
Jesus. Yeah.
Well, what has the overall response been like for NCB?
It's been
Yeah,
good.
it's been good. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a different song to what we've kind of released in the past. But yeah, it's been good. We've opened up a new fan base with the I'd like to say it's more of a softer song than it's just not probably as heavy. But then when you get to that breakdown at the end and it drops in, and we still keep it heavy. But I think we've approached. I think we've managed to receive a different audience. So in a way, our response has been quite positive. That's what you do try to achieve as well when you release something different. So yeah, we've been good. To be very honest with you, we haven't actually gone very hard in promoting the song either. We tried a different approach, because now that we're signed with X Music and it's been released under their label, we've kind of taken a step back on certain things and also expressing other avenues. But yeah, it's all still kind of experimental for us, which we're discovering along the way. But yeah, overall, we're quite stoked with how we've done it. Panda's voice sounds amazing. I think a lot of the feedback that I got from not just my friends but people that have messaged the band say how much they love Panda's voice. So it's good to hear that because not only is it a compliment, but it means you're doing something right, and that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, it's been good.
No. Well, it's already been out. What?
It's showing away, yeah.
It's what?
I don't do compliments.
But it's interesting what you just said then, though, Dan, about the haven't promoted this single as much, and it's an interesting position because if you don't promote your single enough and then wonder why people haven't checked it out, like it's a tough one because you don't want to over promote it, but you don't want to sort of not promote it. You got to find
Yeah,
level
exactly.
ground.
Yeah.
I think also,
Yeah.
it's going to be part of, it'll probably get its own set of that. When we have our collection of new songs we're writing really come out, I feel like it'll get another boost again. So
Yeah.
it's part and parcel of just playing sort of with that algorithm as well. Um, don't know what I can divulge essentially. Maybe Dan can elaborate more on what I can and can't divulge. But
I think what he tries to mean is that when we do drop the album next year, it's going to receive a new light again.
yeah,
And along with an album, you do have a collective of tracks, so everything will sound a bit different. It'll sound like it's the same album, obviously, but everything will sound different, and then that's when it will probably stand out a lot more when
Yeah.
it's amongst its like comparison. So
yeah, and then
yeah,
there's a theme, there's a subject matter, there's a story to be told, and so on and so forth within that context. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
No. Well, that's answered
Um
that question pretty well. Do you have anything to add to that, Tiago, that Dan and Panda have not?
are we releasing the new album in 2026? Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, we're playing the field at the moment. We're seeing what we want to put on the album first. That's the main thing. Yeah, because there's just been so much writing at the moment that all of us are like, "Fuck, that sounds good," and that sounds good, and yeah, what are we gonna do? We can't drop 15 songs on one album. Like so, at the moment we're trying to figure out the best way to go about it. So Yeah.
I want to release this year, not 2026.
Yeah. Oh not 26. Did I say next year again? Did I?
Yes, my friend.
Is that what I said?
Yes,
Oh,
you did.
sorry. Yeah, no,
You're
sorry.
losing it, Dan.
2025.
You're losing it.
Yeah, I told you it's gonna happen. Like it just does. But also back to NCB. We released that song in November as well. So we do come into this period of holidays and Christmas and whatnot. So we do find that one of the mistakes you can make is just promoting very heavily during that period. But most people probably won't pay attention to that. So yeah, we're trying to smoothen out the process a bit. That's all.
No, that's completely understandable. And when as you said, Dan, now that you're part of a record, like you're signed to a record label, they have
Yeah.
different approaches than when you were sort of unsigned and just a DIY band or artist.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're desperate, at that stage, right? Like you don't know. The reality is, no one knows what the fuck they're doing when they got a song that's ready to go. Because like, we live in a time where you can do all kinds of promotion, from like running ads on social media to then going to like Instagram pages to feature their songs in one of your reels. And there's so many different things you can do, right? But when you release a song like NCB, where it's not only different to your catalog, but it doesn't really the best way to put it is it's just like it's more of a softer version. So then when we go into this heavy promotion, it's like, well, hang on, are we promoting the right thing there, or are we just going to get laughed at for releasing something that's a bit different? So when I talk about smoothing it out, it's more like we're just finding the right avenue to go down.
Yeah,
to promote something
finding
like that.
sort of what
Yeah.
gear we're going through, and we are
Yeah.
being within the confines of staying true to ourselves. We are
Yeah.
experimenting a lot, so which is fun, but it also gives a better result at the end. Especially with a lot of the stuff we're writing, it's still very true to the band's nature, but we are experimenting a lot with newer ideas, and it's cool. But yeah, it's yet again, like Dan said, we're just sort of feeling our way, because it's all new.
We got some really cool shit coming that we're working on at the moment. It's going to be, yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to reveal too much.
Yeah.
But
You can talk about a lot of stuff on the internet, but I wouldn't be giving too much
Yeah.
away with what's coming up, because then everyone will be like,
yeah,
"Oh, we heard it on YouTube back in January. We don't
Yeah.
need to know now."
Exactly. Yeah. No, we did. We're trying some new things, and the cool thing is we're all on board with it. So that's when we know we're doing something right. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
important, and experimentation with music is good in a lot of ways, and so many big name bands have done it and have done well with it and become even bigger than what they were beforehand.
Yeah. You have to try. You can't just be repetitive.
No.
As much look, it suits some bands like AC/DC, bands like Iron Maiden that have stayed true to their sound the whole way. Like it works with some artists, but then we find that in our genre, if you keep doing the same thing, it's a bit, boring after a while. So yeah, we are trying some new things, and we're stoked to be featuring that at some point next year. Yeah.
This year, Daniel. This year.
Fuck! He can't
believe-
even speak English, and he's fucking correcting me, man. This is embarrassing for me.
This stuff I can't really edit because it's talking about interesting stuff. I can't just say, I have to edit
No, it's
everything
all right.
Daniel said next year on. So.
You could just do the voiceover this year. Yeah.
Put him in incognito, just a silhouette of himself.
Thankfully, it's only, 4 days into 2025. If it was like November 28, 2025, and you're saying this year, it's like, now you could say it's next year. But yeah, 4 days into the year, I think you could get away with it.
Yeah.
And knowing my
Thanks, man.
luck, I'll probably say, this year, it's like, it was last year. And I've done that already. Like, I was talking to someone the other day, I'm like, this happened this year, and they're like, "You mean last year?" Because I'd seen a band and I was mentioning how good they were. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's 2025, Sam, not 2024."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to be making that mistake, man. It's anyway.
No problem.
Well, don't worry. I think today's Friday. I don't know why I think it's Friday. It's because New Year's Day was a public holiday, and that's put me out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's actually
this whole
Saturday.
period.
Which band would Engraved like to be the support act for?
Kill switch
My-
engage.
I love it, Thiago. Good answer.
Ugh.
Tesseract.
Oh,
Well, going the big guns all of a sudden, are we?
we couldn't play after them.
Oh, gee, Tesseract and Killswitch engage. Yeah,
Make them suffer.
that's really. I think that's very realistic here in Australia.
Two of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, what I would fucking love to do, I mean, those are all good answers, especially Kill Switch. I've seen that, Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine are doing like an Ascendancy 20 year reunion tour. Ascendancy and The Poison from Bullet. I think it'd be fucking awesome to play on that and support those two bands. Having two in one on a tour like that where they're both such influential albums to metalcore. That would be pretty awesome, yeah.
Arguably, their two best albums too. It's a big call, I
Yeah.
know, but
Oh, look, Ascendancy is amazing. That album, yeah. A lot of my writing comes from that kind of stuff, yeah.
I would like Spirit Box too.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, I could see Spirit Box and Engraved.
Courtney. I wrestled
Oh.
a bear once. Wow. Yeah, that's dope.
Actually, if you got Make Them Suffer and Spirit Box on the same lineup, you might get Contraband as the collaboration. Courtney might jump up on Contraband maybe if you had them on the same lineup. So
Hey, and Thiago can play drums for all four bands.
No way.
yeah, that facial expression gave it away, Thiago. It's like, nah, I'll just drum for two bands, not four.
That's a good question. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
What about yourself, Panda? Or is Thiago and Dan answered your favourite bands to play with?
Oh, yeah, it'd be like, yeah, it would be like Kill Switch, Five Finger, Death Punch, Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take the latter on this one because they pretty much hit the nail on the head with what I'd like.
Yeah.
Well, and Killswitch made a return this year. They dropped one single, hoping there's more on the way, obviously.
Light the torch.
Yeah, Howard Jones, that's right. He's got a solo project coming up. Yeah.
It's my dude right there.
No, there's a
Yeah.
lot of solo projects and side projects happening with bands at the moment, which is good to see. Some sound the same, some totally different to the other project, but no, Tiago's back. No, he's gone again.
Probably out of the Wi-Fi
Oh,
dropped.
there we go.
Oh, there he is.
But no, you know what I'd love to see Engraved play with, and sort of in the similarities of Kill Switch and a couple of the other ones, Hatebreed.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh
ooh,
shit.
that's interesting.
But I don't have
You
any
could-
contacts, sorry
yeah.
guys.
It's a good pick. Yeah, I love the aggressive vocals. Yeah. Fuck, I never even thought about that. That's
It's
get
nice to
Panda up
also,
for one of the songs.
and nice to also hear someone say another Australian metal band outside of Parkway Drive. And believe me, that's no disrespect to Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
I think everyone says they want to play with Parkway Drive on an Australian tour.
Yeah.
I know it's such a cliche answer to give now. Like 10 years ago, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm the only one that would say that, but now, fuck. The shows they're putting on, like, yeah, man, they're just up there.
Biggest metal
Yeah.
band in Australia, arguably the most popular in the world. Like, why wouldn't you though?
Oh, fucking, they're
Just
doing things
the
that most
energy at
people
those shows. Oh,
And
insane.
I was so annoyed I missed out on their shows in Australia this year for 20 years. That would have been awesome to see, even though there was the controversy over. Was it Void of Vision and Ghost Inside? I think there were technical issues in Melbourne where they didn't play their sets. Was
Oh,
it?
really?
It was something like that. I've probably got it completely wrong, but because a mate went to that show and they said there were technical and stage issues with I Prevail. Sorry, not I Prevail. The Ghost Inside and Void of Vision, and that apparently I Prevail and Parkway Drive were the only ones that played.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you said it, I feel like I can kind of recall something. Yeah, I
But
think
again,
you're right. There's something wrong with that. Yeah.
I've probably got the wrong city and the wrong details, but it was something along those lines.
I saw. I didn't go to the shows, which was one of the worst mistakes I made. Because I then watched like the whole concert in Sydney on YouTube. Someone had uploaded like a nice footage of it from the whole start to finish, and I'm just watching it like, fuck me, this set is so good. And then in the middle of the set, I've seen that they decided to do like a Killing with a Smile medley,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
they picked like some of the riffs of all the songs on that album and put it into one big song. And I'm just there like, why the fuck did I not fucking go to this? I was like, that's my favorite album, and they don't play any of those songs anymore. Oh my god! I was watching it, and I had to replay it. Like they played that and that and that. Fuck.
Yeah, it's always the
Anyone
one you
that went,
don't go to,
yeah.
eh?
Oh fuck me! Like, and Killswitch came too, and I missed out on that as well. You know, and again, same thing. It's like you can't afford to miss these opportunities anymore. Like, so
I
I've made
always
that
do.
vow.
I
Yeah,
always miss everything. It's always on that, like, the one day that I actually can't. Even if I book it
yeah.
way ahead, something comes up, I'm like, oh, stop. I see more local bands than I ever get to see, you know, the bands that helped shape my perspective on music.
One and done.
Yeah, years ago, I used to be the thing about I'll just support the international bands more than I'd support the local bands. But ever since that word that nearly didn't get mentioned for a whole interview, since COVID, I've felt like the local scene needs more input than what the international scene does. Because I'd much prefer to pay $30, $40 for 5 or 6 bands than 250 for one international band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird scenario we're in at the moment with all this. You know, it's like people are trying and people are trying to make it the effort, but I'm finding that the most common issue with people coming out to gigs is the cost of living. You know, whenever we play and organize, we try to make tickets as cheap as possible because we want to get as many heads through that door to experience it all. You know,
Yep.
and we'll even find that we'll sometimes play venues that do free entry. You know, because like you got to keep it alive somehow. And although you know they're the bigger bands, the international bands, they've done their fair due and they deserve to get their $250 a ticket. It's like, yeah, but there's more value in going out on a whole night and watching bands that are really trying to make the effort to get somewhere. You know.
Yeah, and chances are one of those bands you're seeing is gonna be the big band eventually.
Exactly.
Anyway, I mean the amount of bands I've seen when they were, you know, when they didn't know what they were doing, or when they were doing really controversial
Yeah.
stuff like spitting at people in the crowd and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even like you know, like Alpha Wolf back in the day and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah.
and they're just sky's the limit now. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Even bands I've played with in old bands I was in, and I'm like, you know, and then I had a hiatus of work and a solo musician there for some years, and and then I've just gone, oh wait, those guys are big now. That's crazy, you know. It's awesome.
I think
Yeah, it
also,
is.
just going on what Dan said about the cost of living, I also find that the other choice that people make is they'd leave it till the last minute. Like if they don't get a better offer, they'll go to this gig. And then if the gig sold out, then they complain that, oh, I couldn't get tickets. And you're like, well, if you'd purchased the tickets earlier, you would have been able to go.
That's
Mm.
exactly right.
Yeah, I see a lot of that.
Because
Can I add something?
go for it, Tiago.
Um, another band that I would love to share the stage, bro, will be Lamb of God.
They're the heavyweights of metal that we've just heard. Lamb of God, Kill Switch, Hate Breed,
Yeah,
Spirit Box,
Lamb of
make them suffer.
yeah. That's what I listen, and that's who I want to share life and stage, and that's who I want to work beside me. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
man.
question you're asking, really, Sam, is instead of which band we want to support, it's more like if you were to die the next day, what would you want to do the day before? Like that's how I'm looking at the question. You know,
Yeah.
go all out,
Okay.
all out.
All right.
I need to say something. Like I came from I come from Brazil. We have like a lot of Latin music, bossa nova, samba, all of that, and rock and metal. It's there. It's the land of Sepultura. It's the land of Project 46. It's the land of Corsos, and too many others. But it's the niche, this metal scene, rock metal scene, even more metal. It's very restricted. It's like very tiny. This was one of the reasons that I left my country. Also, I'm a Brazilian, but I could say that I'm a fake Brazilian because I'm not in. Sorry for those who are listening to that, but like I'm not into samba. I'm not into bossa nova like much. I'm not into uh, a lot of Latin vibes. I'm a metalhead, and like thinking about what I want and what I love to play in Brazil, man, will be much harder, even harder than here. So this was one of the things. Like, how can I make metal and my passion, the genre of music that I love, happen? And Australia, I could see that have a like much bigger scenario and public for that. And I was just watching a advertisement from Notfest, and this trick kind of catch me because I can tell you a very famous, talking about Brazil, I can tell you a very famous band name, but in that band concert, you will not see people wearing that band T-shirt because they are there for the music, but it's not that thing like, bro, this band, it's like my life. I love it. I listen to this shit every day, and like I will buy the merch. I will do because this band is my thing, represents myself, my life. With those type of music, you don't have merch. You don't have those things because people don't have. They will pay the ticket for the live gig, but they will not buy because they don't have that level of love, of devotion for that artist. And man, with metal, it's completely the opposite. If you love Pantera and you have now 60 years, like you are 60, you are 70, and Pantera is playing again, you probably have a Pantera shirt on your wardrobe for years because it's your thing and you just love it. And you love so much that you buy mesh and you buy the whole thing. And with a lot of the genres that I play, with all the stuff being a Brazilian, I never saw it in almost any other genre. People that loves that thing so much that they buy merch, that they buy, the stuff. And this pushes me, like makes me go forward with metal because the same passion that I have, for example, for the bands that I said that I will love to share the stage, uh, I know that people have from my band Engraved and from metal itself because the level of devotion and how we love metal is just completely different from any other genre. We love that shit and we go for it. and we went to the first gig with 20, and with 30 we're gonna see that band again if they are alive, and with 42 and with 50 and so on, because the level of passion, it's completely different from every other genre that I play. And this, when I saw that Not Fast advertisement, I was like, fuck yeah. It's like they get me on this. Like, it's like, fuck, this is what I think.
No, that's an
Very
interesting
banter.
story, Tiago, and very well represented, and a lot of facts out of that. Because but
Just how
Very true.
passionate.
Yeah.
That's just how passionate we are about it, though.
Yeah,
100%.
the metal community is huge, man. Like the way that the devotion that we have for that, the respect that we have for that thing, it's so big, and is much bigger than any other genre. Rock will, and metal for me will be on the same spot. Every other genre, I don't see that level of like, bro, look who is there, look who I'm watching now. And I saw that very, very often with metal, and that makes me feel like I'm on the right track. This is what I want to do, you know.
Very, very important, and the passion, as you said, throughout that message is passionate, and I think passion for what you do and what you love in music or in life in general, pretty much, is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
you're here and you want to be here, you got to aim here. And I think that's a big part of it. Sky's the limit, but you can only see as far as the horizon, so to speak. So you really got to use your imagination with these things, and sky's really is the limit. Anything can be done, and we're just finding new creative ways to get where we want to be. And as Thiago said before, we all have different influences. We all have a different perspective, but we do have very similar goals, and I think that's just going to make something very interesting for us. And I'm personally really excited about it. It gives me that feeling that I haven't had for a long time, which the whole when you're in your first band sort of thing, and you start making songs. You're younger, you're a teenager, whatever. And you start getting excited because you go, oh my god, that makes sense. That sounds good. Oh, people are actually going to like that song. Like that sounds like a real song, And you when you first start creating and you get the bug, you get bit by the bug, and it's hard to chase that feeling again. It's hard to find that same excitement in these processes when you've been doing things within that genre for so long. But when you do, it's so cool. There's nothing like it.
No, definitely.
So that's what I say.
3 experienced people in the music scene versus 1 person that has never picked up an instrument or played any part in being in a band or an artist. I'll just do the outside work.
Oh, mate, you do more than enough. Everyone sees it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I've only done 4 episodes of this so far, and I'm like, the question I keep going back to is, why didn't I do this from the start? Why?
Yeah, I think we all have those moments for sure. On any side of the coin, we all have those moments where we're like, oh, I wish I'd been doing this from the start. But it's how you get there, It's how you get there that shapes what it becomes at the end. It really is the journey there. If you didn't have the knowledge or experience of being out there and doing what you're doing, then it wouldn't be so good now. It wouldn't be how it is now. So I think it all plays a part. It's all part and parcel. But it's good. We're all exactly where we're meant to be at any given time. And we're just along for the ride, it's cool.
It's long for the ride, cool, and who knows what the future holds. I think that's the beauty. Like, if you're willing to put in the work, as Panda said, the sky's the limit. You just don't know what's around the corner. You don't know out of your friends and other bands who they have contacts with. They might have a PR for, Alpha Wolf, for example. Well, I'm not saying they do, but, they could know Polaris, they could know In Art's Wake, any of these bands. If you don't talk to people or put yourself out there, then it's not just going to land in your lap without putting in the hard work.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly right. That's exactly right, and that comes along with an attitude too. Like, you can't, just because you've done some certain work, you're not entitled to have something. You still got to keep working towards it. I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
be in it to win it, but you've also got to talk to everyone in it. You've got to make these connections. You've got to be your genuine self the whole time. You can't. It's not like breaking character. You have to be genuine, because if you're not picked up for being genuine, then you're not gonna go far, because you can only put on a front so far. I think that's a really important thing. That's where a lot of people go wrong. Is you'd rather fail at being yourself. Personally, I'd rather fail at being myself than succeed at being someone else's idea.
No, that's.
I'm with you.
Yeah. No,
You will.
That sounds like a new song, dude.
Yeah, that's
I like that.
I'll write that
Take
down.
a note, then. Take a note.
You'll send me the recording after, right, Sam?
This son of a bitch
Okay.
managed to
No.
sound magnanimous.
Oh, I'm just taking
Yeah.
notes, even though I haven't got my pen handy.
Oh, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, jeez.
Thanks for coming on an hour and 18 minutes. Here's some notes I've prepared earlier.
Well, this is one of the things we have in store for our new shows, is that Panda's got the microphone now, so when we're performing, you're going to hear random moments of wisdom throughout the songs and speeches. So yeah,
I do say some weird shit, but it draws attention. That's what it's about.
I think if you do say some weird stuff or something that's maybe people aren't expecting, that will get the crowd thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Like, if you're just there plain, just saying, oh, the next song is da-da-da, thanks for making the journey, and you don't put something in that is a bit out of left field, people will just be thinking, well, every time I come see this band, I'm just going to expect the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Look. If I don't see people paying attention, I'll make them pay attention. It's an important part of it. Even if I gotta say, can everyone just take a moment to look at our gorgeous drummer? Like, have you seen that man? It's a Greek god. Look at the hair cultivating on our gorgeous guitarist. You may know him from his Gillette adverts where he's shaving his back. Gorgeous. You gotta say funny stuff. You gotta be interested. You gotta be yourself. People are drawn to that. Even if I go, hey, what's up, Sydney? Show me your feet. They're like, what? And I'm like, anyway, this song is Deadlines. Deadlines. It's fun, It's fun.
We're a bunch of weird motherfuckers.
I think that when you are true to yourself and when you are your original, other people will connect much more than when you are doing the same thing, communicating with ChatGPT. Is not you. It's just the best way to put in English and make people maybe understand or read fast. But it's not coming from your heart. You are just putting something there. And when you lost that thing that is not your true self, it will not connect with as more people than when you be real, because reality is what matters. And when you are real people will be attracted to it. It's one thing connects to the other perfectly. I don't know.
Absolutely, hey, and like if you're making fun of each other and having a laugh with the crowd, and then 2 seconds later you're singing a song that's so emotionally driven, and the subject matter is, betrayal or lost loves or whatever, it's like it really catches people, but it humanizes you. You're just like any of them in the crowd, and you're just
Yes.
expressing yourself shamelessly, and that's what it's
Yeah.
about. And I think I remember being in the crowd myself, younger, and watching bands and listening to the lyrics, watching them play, and you get that emotional connection to it. And I think at the end of the day, that's as a vocalist, that's what I strive for. Is I want to have emotional connection with people who I've never met. Via pan Bluetooth, that's what I want. I think we played a gig at Tomcats not long ago, and I had a guy come up to us to me and Corey, and he was just saying, he just said, he said, I just want you to know, man, that like I felt what you were singing, and that's a special thing. I just wanted to tell you that, and that, oh man, that blew my head off, because it's such a confirmation for me that what I was trying to achieve is happening, and it's the small little bits of feedback like that that really drive me to keep pursuing my my goals in the band, and as a collective. I think it's just really important.
No, feedback from anyone, constructive or positive, is very important, and bands love to hear it, and bands love when people come up to them after the show. And someone actually posted that on Facebook a couple of days ago, because I don't want to get too much into the streaming service bullshit, but like how Spotify, Pandora, etc. don't pay their artists enough, they put up a graph of how much each streaming service pays them, and then said it's more important to come out to shows and go up to the bands, buy merch, buy tickets to their shows, and say hello, because that's what keeps these bands going. And in what Panda said just then about someone coming up to you at Tomcat afterwards, and Corey as well, and saying how much this song sort of meant to them, I think is very important, and is, yeah.
It is.
That's right.
Also the negative stuff as well. As long as it's not from a place of one-sided sort of malice. Even the negative stuff can be positive as well. It really is your perspective on it. What you can take from it, because if you learn something from it, or you can shift your perspective in a positive way from the critiquing you're being given, or just the advice, it's not negative.
No.
I think people get really emotionally involved with that specific aspect of it, but it's not negative. The only time I take anything negative is when in myself I'm worried about it, whereas if it's coming from another source but it's not emotionally connected, it's just information, and it's positive because you can spin it. And I think that's an important thing as well, is just taking your hits. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, to quote Van Halen, to get to what's real,
Well, you're right. He's like, you got to take the good with the bad. If
Yeah,
you're just hearing good shit all the time, it either means like someone just being, lying to you all the time, or you're just being delusional.
Yeah, it's like being given a participation trophy, It's
like you don't want that shit.
It's not as good. It's not as good as when you actually win a bronze or a gold, or your little special gold star. Then you're like, I got that. It's good. Quantifies it, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right, I can't believe we've been talking for an hour and a half, but well, we've chatted about so much that I feel like a lot of questions have been answered without being asked. So now comes the fun part and the time I'm a bit worried about because Tiago, Panda, and Daniel now have the floor. They can ask Sam a question that they want to, and as is mentioned at the start of this interview, nothing's off limits.
Ooh, can I go first?
Go for it.
All right. I'm not gonna blast you. I'm just gonna ask you a genuine question. Well, I know that's so outside of me being me because usually I'd ask some weird shit. But but no. Respectfully, I want to know what band have you seen live yourself that you could closely connect to? That felt almost spiritual. That felt emotional to see. Like one you really like. You couldn't mosh. You couldn't sit there headbanging. You were just staring like in awe. What band gave you that feeling initially? Anyway.
Good question, and this is actually quite recently because this was Traralgon just 3 weeks ago, I think it was. It was a Gippsland show, and it was Mirrors, who are a Gippsland band from Traralgon. Now, the emotion side of it wasn't so much that I was emotional, but you could see it in their eyes because they hadn't played a show in 2.5 years. And they got up on stage and put on one fucking awesome performance. And I stood there and I'm just like, where's this band been for the last
Yeah.
2.5 years? Now, obviously, bands have hiatuses, go through a bit of time where they don't release new music. But at the end of the night, I stood there and said, I just forgot how good that band actually is live.
Yeah.
Because they were off the charts that night. And they always put on a great show, but I felt like a hometown show and the fact that they'd only released Vestige, their latest single, 2 weeks prior to that gig, that was the emotions that you could see in the band because they were doing as good as they did 2 years ago.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I know that feeling too. I love that.
And yeah, I felt the emotions there as well because down here in Gippsland, like obviously Ocean Sleep and Mirrors, Atlas, a few other bands have made it big moving to the city. But I think it's just awesome to see that when someone says, oh, Ocean Sleep, I'm like, hey, they're down my neck of the woods. They're from Sale. Mirrors are from Traralgon. They're actually from my area, which now it's like everyone's like, we know where Gippsland is.
They put you on the map.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And would almost go to say, and this is a big call, Ocean Sleeper probably could be put into that bracket with Future Static and Vilify as the next big thing here in Australia. And maybe they are already on that direct path because they've become huge here in Victoria. I mean, they're playing within Arts Wake in a few weeks' time. That's massive for a band from Sale.
Absolutely. I rate it.
Mm. So, yeah, but I love the question. That's a new one too, Panda. So, haven't been asked that before. So,
It's an important question.
all right.
Dan.
Good luck following that, Dan and Tiago.
All right, I got two.
Go on, Dan. Ask him what his
I got-
favorite back hair removal cream is. No.
I've got two questions. Both of them are a bit average, but anyway, I'll start with the first one. All right. So you're going to your a festival that you love. There's like 3 of your favorite artists on there, but you're either deaf or blind. Which one would you pick?
Oh. Yeah, that is a bit.
Would you rather see the performance or hear the performance?
I'd rather see it, I reckon. Because the only reason I say I'd rather see it than hear it is because you'd still be able to visually see the band putting on a performance. Okay, you couldn't hear it, but yeah, I just feel like I'd rather visualize it than hear it.
And you can still feel it.
Yeah. Well,
You
that
still
too.
feel the
Alright.
bass in your chest and stuff, you know.
Yeah, fair point. There.
So
That's actually, Panda's got a good answer for that one. There you go. Feel the bass. That's a good one. My next question was, who are your top 3 favorite artists outside of metal or rock? Yeah. What is something, you know? Now, I know you're from the countryside, but Taylor Swift doesn't count, so we can discard that one.
Well,
all they
there
go.
goes Red Hook and yours truly too as well, because they're rock punk. Well, I guess you could nearly almost class yours truly as punk metal, but all right, outside of those, all right, history wise, Beastie Boys are a favourite of mine, even though they're 30 years ago and all that. Bit outside, bit of a guilty pleasure, as they say. But
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
probably Beastie Boys. Oh no, they're not. They're metal. I can't say Electric Callboy. Damn.
Yeah, they're something else. Yeah, I don't know what they are. Yeah, like techno metal. Yeah, doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Damn. I was going to say Electric Callboy too. The presets. If I'm going to be sort of dancey.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good
I like
pick.
the presets.
And again, I'm just going to say Chili Peppers. I know they're technically rock, but their genres sort of change from time to time.
Yeah, Chili Peppers probably pass. I'll give that.
Yeah. So
that answer.
Chili Peppers, presets, and Beastie Boys. Interesting.
I've actually got before Thiago asks. I got one. I got a really good one. I want to know if you could be proficient in playing any instrument, what would you go for?
Drums. That's not sucking up to Thiago. I just love making as much noise as possible.
That is the correct answer, by the way.
I'd say guitar. Mine fucking shit.
Okay, Dan.
Nah, I'm going to be with Thiago on this one. Drums any day of the week, because you can make as much noise, but you got to keep it in sync as well, because you're keeping the beat. Yeah. That's the only negative, but...
Well, I'd pick the exact same thing. My father was a drummer, and for a band called Mushrooms, they were the fun guys to be with.
Yes.
And I completely hold that one. Drums is where it's at.
Yep.
What were their merch items?
It was just a brown shirt with a mushroom on it.
Nothing tie-dye or anything.
Just the fun guys to be with.
I'm trying to envision that shirt, and I think what Panda said is the only thing it could possibly be is a brown shirt with a mushroom on it.
Yeah.
Well, I was going along the lines of like truffles and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they were selling LSD at their shows. Who knows?
It probably would have been everything.
And then Panda was born.
I don't even know what they sounded like, but I imagine it would have been very funky. And then my old man's just like Animal from Sesame Street on the fucking drums, because that's just who he is. Just this fucking wide, bald, angry British bulldog fucking smashing away on the drums. That's my old man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's one of those. What's his name? Forgot his name. Eloy.
Casagrande.
Casagrande, yeah. My old man gives those real hard hitting vibes, you know. So it'd be like that.
Wow, he's probably very good, because you are comparing him with the number one of this whole fucking world.
I meant in energy. He's still a single kick man.
Good explanation. Yes, okay. That says a lot. Got it.
All right.
Okay, Sam. What motivates you to do this podcast? What is the foundation? What is the main reason that you decided, and when you decided to do it, when you started exactly?
All right. Again, I never thought I'd mention the C word ever again, but this has to bring it in. So 2020, COVID started, unfortunately. The radio station I used to work at closed down because of restrictions, lockdown, etc. So I had to find another avenue to supporting local music, playing local music. Mate, I know, did a podcast or did a test one on SoundCloud and sounded really good. I said, why don't I try that? And then I tried a few episodes, did the audio ones. What motivated me to do it though was that a lot of my mates at that time were actually in local bands as well. So I wanted to get their name heard. For example, like Engraved and Clay J. Gladstone and Ocean Sleeper and Excuse, among other bands. And I just wanted to know that I'm still doing my part despite not being on the radio.
Okay, that's a very honorable
Hey, yeah.
reason. Yeah, that's very nice.
And I hate to say this, and I never thought I'd find a positive out of COVID, but if it wasn't for COVID, who knows if this would actually have happened.
That's
Yeah,
right,
well,
Every,
to be fair, I'd still be running my mechanic shop up north if COVID hadn't happened. I wouldn't be where I am now, a bit further south, and I wouldn't be in Engraved, you know.
Yeah.
thanks,
I'm
Kobe.
sure.
Thank you.
I'm sure Corey and Phil still would have called me, but I wouldn't have been as available as I am. That's for sure. So everything. Yet again, it's that perspective thing. Everything has a positive. It depends what you do with it, sort of thing.
And did we just say thank you, COVID, over WebEx? Did we?
Thanks, COVID. That's why
Nice.
Panda is on the band again. Thank you. Let's thank COVID.
I think
Everything happened for a reason.
that's the first time I've ever heard anyone in an interview, whether it's been over WebEx or audio, actually thank COVID.
Yeah,
So
COVID.
prepare yourself for plenty more one-liners.
No, but
That's how
three
lyrically.
awesome questions, or well, in both Panda and Dan's examples, it was actually two questions, not one. But everyone's questions, all good, and love answering them. And I love Engraved. I've known Dan for what, nearly 4 years has it been?
Yeah, I
Trophy?
think it's at least because 2021 was when we dropped Unleash, and it was around then when you contacted me, I think,
That-
or when I contacted you. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember how we did it. But yeah, it
I've
happened
got
so long ago.
I've got to be honest. I actually think Engraved were the first band that contacted me from Interstate, if I'm correct. Because
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
hang on,
yeah,
when
could be
did
something.
Clay J? No, they contacted me 2022, so I reckon it was Engraved, and then all the others came along afterwards. But yeah, I remember you distinctively messaging me because at that time I reckon
Yeah,
I was on 3BBR still,
yeah,
maybe.
probably. I remember when we did our first interview, you had this you had like a live link on the radio channel.
Yes.
I remember when you sent that through, and I was listening to the station, and then I kept it saved, and I was like listening to it like whenever I could. But that's when we did our first interview with you. It was on
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
2022, not
Yeah.
2021. Sorry,
No.
2022. So it's been 3 years. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Only one person has been on more times than you, Dan, and it's not even a musician or a band. A friend of mine from Druin has been on 9 times so far, so
Well,
it's got to come up a bit.
Oh, if we keep pumping out music and whatnot, yeah, definitely we'll
Oh,
get
well,
close to that.
why wouldn't I have Engraved on? I've had them on
Yeah.
4 times. Let's make a 5th. Maybe not next week or next month, but
Yeah.
A month after
Yeah.
a month after
Yeah.
that. I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
another question I get asked is, what's my least favourite thing about the podcast? And it's this, the end. I hate
Yeah.
the end. I don't like it because we have to say goodbye at some stage.
Yeah. It's always
Yeah,
yeah.
we could just chat. We could just chat for hours. So
Yeah. But Tiago, Panda, Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure from Engraved. This will be up pretty soon. It'll be up on Monday around, I think, 2 p.m. I said. Something along those lines. There'll be a Spotify playlist with Engraved songs and local bands that I'll share on my news feed on Monday as well. And feel free to share it around once I upload it.
absolutely.
Of course.
Well, before we go, can I take a photo of all of us looking
Oh,
happy? Is that
okay.
all right? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God,
Go
that's
throw
not
up your horns.
all right there.
I got the logo.
There we go. Yeah. All right.
There's a few things.
I'll throw that up as well. Yeah.
I've got to be honest. I think that's the first time I've ever been asked to have a photo on. Well, I guess when it's audio, you can't really take a photo and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we got the faces. I thought it'd be cool to have that, and throw that up on social media.
Nah,
Yeah.
like the idea. Love this. I can't give too much away what's happening in 2025 with this, but I'm just urging people to watch this space. There's a lot coming, but I can't give too much away because they're not confirmed yet. But there could be a couple of big things happening in the second half of 2025. So,
Hey, we're looking forward for it, man. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
well, Panda, Tiago, and Dan, thanks for jumping on for a chat. I'll always appreciate and support Engraved any way I can, as you know.
Thanks, Sam.
Hell
Thanks
yeah,
for your
man. We
time,
love
mate.
you, dude.
Yeah,
No worries.
yeah. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Sam.
much.
Thank you.
Till next time.
All good.
That's it.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll catch up again soon.
Bye.
Definitely. See you, mate. Have a great weekend.
Same to
Same
you.
for you, man.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Bye.
See ya.